Wow, what can I add to such a powerful message and introduction? Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's good to be here. I want to start by asking you a question. How many of you have taken a picture of this event and posted on social media? Anyone? Come on, I'm a friend with you on Facebook and I'm following your Instagram, so I know who you are. Thank you very much. Wow, you are such a millennial. How many of you have taken selfies since you arrived in Singapore? Come on. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad we have so many millennials in the rooms, actually. Yeah, so I'm from Indonesia, and when we are talking about millennials in Indonesia, it is not just a simple definition. So I had a talk with my friend, and we decided that millennials in Indonesia, we can categorize into 3 types. The first one is the global millennials. Those who live in the big cities like Bandung and Jakarta, they use internet on a daily basis. They are bilingual generation, they speak English fluently, so they are exposed to the world outside Indonesia. And these global millennials, they feel that they share so much similarity in culture with other global millennials, for example, in Singapore or maybe in New York, compared to the same age millennials in the same country, Indonesia, but who live in the remote areas such as Papua or Nusa Tenggara Island. And the second millennials are urban millennials. Similar to the global, the only difference is urban millennials, they don't speak English. So although they use internet on a daily basis, not only for toys, but for study, for their work, but they are, in culture, they are much more Indonesian than the global millennials. And the third one is suburban millennials or rural millennials. Those are millennial by age, but they live in the remote places like probably in Papua or in Nusa Tenggara Island. They don't have access to internet or very limited access. So although they are by age millennial, but by culture, they are really pre-millennials. So I think I have confidence to tell you all that you are way more millennials than many of my friends who are living in Papua. So Dr. Bruce, you can call yourself millennials. You send us a lot of emails, you are more digitalized than a lot of my friends who, they don't even have email address. Yeah, so on the issue of building community, I talked to 5 global millennials who are living in Bandung and Jakarta to find out about their idea about what kind of community that they want to have. As we all know, there are a lot of research has been done in the West that prove that millennials nowadays are leaving the church or they abandon religions. And thankfully, this phenomenon has not happened yet in Indonesia, at least based on my observation. What is happening in Indonesia? There are a lot of millennials who are leaving their parents' church. And they are trying to find a new church that they feel they can relate more. So most of them are saying to me, when I ask why you don't want to go to your parents' church, they say, because I cannot find a community that I can be part of. I feel like they are so different. That's why they want to have their own church or they move to another church. So what kind of community that they want to have? The first one, from these 5 global millennials, they say that we want a community that care. We want a community that care. I want to introduce you to my friend Nadia through her Instagram post. Nadia. For Nadia, social media is not just a tool. She told me social media is a language of sharing and caring. Through social media, Nadia shares her life. She wants people, she invites us to see her life. places she likes to go, food that she likes to eat, her friends, her family. And not only showing or sharing, but he invites people who are following her Instagram. It's not a privatized Instagram, so you can just look for her. She invite us to comment on her life, to respond, to subscribe to her. So this is basically, millennial generations is the generation that likes to share life. They like to share what they are doing. Sharing life, and I think sharing lives is basically a discipleship, isn't it? Discipleship is about sharing life. So the difference is, this generation, the millennials, they use online and offline media of sharing life. So Bree, another person, one of the 5 global millennials that I talk with, he told me that his idea of caring is different from the idea of caring that my parents have. He said, my leader cares. I love my new church because my leader cares about our lives than what we can do for the church. This generation care more about sharing lives more than the program. He said that my leader often spends time with us. He follows us on Instagram and Twitter. He comments on our posts and pictures, and he gives us a lot of likes. So that's what cares are all about. So if you want to show your cares to this generation, create for yourself Instagram or Twitter, and try to communicate with them. It is a language, but not only offline. Brie also said that whenever they meet, his leader is not just talking about the church program. Often and often I heard my friends told me that I don't like my parents' church because every time the leader approached me, they asked me to do some things. Can you do this? Can you do that? They never asked me about my life. But with the new church, he feel like the leader care more about his passion, his family, and the leader even willing to share, although maybe not online, but share his passion, share his family, and share his problem. And Bree said that he's available for us. And every time we contact him, he's available through social media. Yeah, another person, Ben, he said that, I love it when I got so many comments on my Instagram. The leader really understands me. He cares about my hobbies, my passions. And sometimes, we complain because a lot of young people or the millennials express their emotion on social media, but that is actually our language. And Ben said that, sometimes I do that, but my leader at my church, the youth leader, he never judged me. He invited me for a coffee. So coffee and selfie, these are 2 important ingredients if you want to relate to millennials. Yeah. So he invited me for a coffee and we talk. Yeah. Mel, on the other hand, talk about offline relationship, sharing life. He said, sometimes, my leader visits me at my office. I like it because he cares. He wanted to know where I work and he prayed for me. So sharing life, basically, millennials are, it's not a strange generation. They are just the same as other generations, but the language is different. The language is different. They use social media and they use internet to express their idea and feeling and thought, but they focus more on life sharing and caring. And the second one, these 5 global millennials told me that they want a community that promotes equality. Millennials hate hierarchy. They love equality. Not only equality between gender or social class or economic class, but also equality between generations. That's why when the leader, like for example, I love it when, I know that Dr. Rico is, my Facebook friends, and Dr. Lua, and also Dr. Edwin Perona. They are my Facebook friends. So I feel like, you know, we become friends, not only like hierarchy relationship. Oh, my dean, AGST dean, or my supervisor. No, we are friends. We are equal. Yeah. So when my leader following me on Instagram, I feel, oh, you know, I'm not only his follower, but he's also my follower. Yeah. So this is like equality. Yeah. The generations that emphasize more on equality, and that's what basically my 5 global millennials share. Not only that, you know, the millennial want to ask for an advice for the older generation, that's what Ray said, but, you know, he also wants his opinion regarded as important. So we like it when the older people ask us our advice or opinions. Yeah. So Pri also says the same. I like my church because everybody is equal. Yeah. And Mel also, they said that in my church now, they never, you know, exclude us in the decision making. Not like just in a, you know, she compared with the previous church. They never include us in the decision making. So not only a community that care or community that, you know, promote equality, but also community that makes impact on society. These generations want to transform the world, just like Jesus transformed, you know, water into wine, yeah, troubled grooms into blessings. But this generation want to be the agents of God to bring change to the society and community. And the millennials, usually they don't trust traditional institutions to bring change. That's why they use social media. When they want something happen, they use the power of hashtag. So, you know, hashtag, right? The power of hashtag. Just hashtag it, make it viral. Or tweet it, make it a trending topic. Let's change the world. Or just, you know, make it viral, like it, comment on it, share it. So that's, the issue that we want to bring will go viral. And so they belong a community in the church or in a theological institution, seminary, who cares about social justice, social issues. Ben told me that, you know, he loves his church now because last month, I think, they participate in a campaign against human trafficking. So all the young people wear black shirts, and then the pastor preached about how Jesus loves and values all kind of people. He said, I feel great because we are part of something bigger than a local church. Mel also said the same. She said that, you know, before I'm joining this church, I used to fight for social change through social media. I joined Ice Bucket Challenge. You know, Ice Bucket Challenge? It's a challenge that promotes awareness for the ALS disease. So here's the bucket challenge. Basically, you pour yourself with ice cold water. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's make impact, but this is like worldwide movement. And Ray also told me that, you know, I love my church now because when we had a election, Indonesia just had elections, me and together with my leader, we volunteer ourselves to help the elections. So he said that I feel that social activities are more meaningful than endless church meeting. Yeah, we don't like meetings. We want to do things to change the world. Yeah, and then the next thing is the community that the millennials want is a community that promotes collaborative learning. So with internet and social media, people can just exchange informations, work together, exchange resources. So we are not like just the persons who want to build our own expertise, but we like to share and collaborate to one another. And that's why the millennials also want to contribute something. It's not only learning from the older generations, but they also want to take part in shaping the church. Mel told me that, you know, she stayed in her new church because her pastor led her to contribute to shape the church, to create a program. And Ben, I like what he told me. He said that, you know, 2 years ago, I told my youth pastor that I want to learn how to preach. He coached me for several months, and after that, we shared sermon. I preached for 10 minutes, and he continued for another 20 minutes. Maybe to make up for the mess that Ben has made. So, but they collaborate one another, you know. And then what they like is a community that accommodates flexibility. This generation is customized generations. Everything needs to be privatized and customized. They don't like uniforms, so don't ask people, the millennials, to wear uniform. Yeah, so they love something that is, create for themselves. Bree told me, my small group is very flexible. We can meet at anywhere. We can change schedule at our convenience, and sometimes we meet online. Ray also say similar things. I don't like the strictly small group who are strictly follow a curriculum like page by page, just finishing the materials. I like my small group now because we can change program according to our needs. Mel said, flexible and informal. That's what I like. I can be the real me. Yeah. The next one is the community that focus on value. Many millennials experts say that, we never face a great challenge to traditions than what is done by the millennials. The millennials ask questions everything. The value behind every activities or program. Bree told me that he's tired looking at his parents, very active at the church, very busy, but he said actually, I don't see the value behind all those activities. So now I just, I just don't want a job. I want a purpose. I also don't want only a church. I want a vision. I want a value. So the millennial expect the leaders to share his passion, his vision, his value. They want the leaders to communicate it, to communicate the vision to the millennials so they can be part of it. They can have a patience. Ben say, in the church there are so many programs, but I just focus on small group ministry because I can see the value, the vision behind it, the vision of building a people that fear the Lord. Yeah. So similar to that, Mel also said, my leader always shares his passion and his vision with us. That's why we are getting excited in doing things. So this is a community that this generation wants. A community that care, community that promote equality, community that focus on making an impact on the society, community that promote collaborative learning, very flexible and emphasize on value. And I think that's, this category of community is also the community that we all want. The only difference is we are speaking with a different language. This is an online language that we need to learn to be able to understand this generation. Thank you very much.